did the description, but we'll do it later. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vedant, please repeat after me. Purodasam cha mukyam mam.
Udasam च मुख्यम
Siddhi partha brihaspatiम्.
वित्तिपार्था बृहस्पतिम्
सेनानीमहं स्कन्दः.
तेनानीम् अहं स्कन्दः.
I think we finished this also last week.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
See?
No, I think what you did is like we went over this verse, we just did it, and then like you said we're gonna have class like the next Sunday, right? But then you canceled the class, so like that's
Yeah, but we discussed this. So I think we already discussed this verse. So let's do 25 onwards. We talked about how among the army generals, Kartikeya, who is the son of Lord Shiva, he's the topmost, and Krishna says, I am Kartikeya. And then among Rudranams, he is Skola, is Lord Shiva. That's what he's saying. And then priests. We talked about how there are priests for every family, or for connecting the humanity with God, with all the spiritual activities, and how among them Brihaspati is the priest of Lord Indra, and he is the chief of all the priests. And Krishna says, I am Brihaspati. And then he says he's Kartikeya, and among the various bodies of water that can exist in this material creation, Krishna says he's the ocean. Sagaraha means ocean. Do you all think we should discuss it more and repeat it, or should we go to 25th verse? I'll let you all decide.
25.
Okay, Nishka says 25. Is everyone agreeing with that? Yeah,
Yes.
Nivan, what do you think?
I think we should like discuss this more because like we only had like 5 minutes of class left and we didn't really like go deep
Does it?
into
Okay, then let's discuss. So do we want to repeat the verse too, or are we good with the pronunciation?
I think we're good.
You're good? Okay.
Yeah,
So
we're
let's
good.
look at the translation. So Krishna is saying, among the priests, and we talked about who the priests are, right? Priests are those who help us with all the rituals that are prescribed in Vedas. By conducting those rituals, the priests who are well versed with the rituals help us connect with the divinity, with the spiritual power, with God, with the various worships that we do. Priests help us with that process. And every family, in fact, has a priest, family priest, or every village, every town, every city, every kingdom, every ruler had priests associated with their kingdom. For example, if you take Lord Ramachandra, when he appeared, his family priest was, his family consultant for spiritual activities was, who was he? Does anybody remember? Sage Vashishta, remember? And of course, Sage Valmiki used to come as a visiting sage, and he's the one who had taken. Do you all remember? Who is the one who took Lord Rama and Lakshmana to the forest?
Was it Vashishta Rishi?
Okay, what do others think?
Was it Vishwamitra?
Okay, who else? Come on, that's what I want, all the sages' names coming out now. Vishwamitra, Vasishta. Any other sages, and do you all remember from the Puranas that we learned?
Narayana.
Narayana is not a sage. He's Lord. Lord's other name is
What about
Narada.
Narada? Is he a sage?
Yes, Narada is also a sage.
I
Narada.
meant to say Narada, not Narayana. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, Narada. Yes. So it was Vishwamitra who actually took Lord Rama and Lakshmana to the forest when they were young. But they had a family priest who is called Sage Vashishta. Right? Similarly, now among all the demigods, the king of all the demigods is who?
Indra?
Indra, yes. And Indra's family priest was, or head of the priests for Indra was Brihaspati. And that's what it's saying here. Right? And Krishna says, I am that head of the priests who is manifesting as Brihaspati. So, in other words, among the in creation, whatever is the most opulent, whatever is the most splendorous, whatever is the most powerful, whatever is the epitome of any particular thing, Krishna is saying, I am the one who's manifesting, and I am non-different from those. So when you see those, you should think, oh, this is the manifestation of Krishna in this form. Any questions when I say this? Nobody has any questions when I say this?
Wait, yeah, I do have one question. Does that mean that like Krishna is just all living, like he's in every single god that there is?
Of course, he's even within us. He's within us. He's even in the blade of grass. But for us to understand his greatness, he's saying, I am the greatness of all the great things, or I am the greatest of all the great things.
Oh, I get it. So like he's saying that he is within all of those great things that is
Yes,
there. Okay.
yeah. So that's how he's enabling us or helping us remembering how great Krishna is. You understand, everyone? That's the purpose of this. That doesn't mean Krishna is only in the great things. It doesn't mean Krishna is not present anywhere else except as Brihaspati or except as Kartikeya. No, he is the greatest of all the things that are manifesting. He's manifesting himself as those great things. And it helps us remember him better, right? That he is, wow, it's of Krishna's energy, or Krishna is non-different, or this person is actually manifestation of Krishna. Krishna is coming as Brihaspati. Makes sense or no? No? What do you all think? You're all speaking, or? I cannot hear anyone.
I mean, I get it. I think I understand what's probably going on here.
What about others? Can you all ask
I
questions?
understand as well.
Are you all sure? We have to understand why Krishna, though he's expanded everywhere in this creation, why is he mentioning only these things to us? That I am these things. Can anybody help me with telling why? Why is he not saying I'm present in a blade of grass, or I am in the smallest of the smallest thing which we don't really care about? Why is he not saying those things? Because Krishna is present in those things also. Yeah, Nivan.
It's like the little things we don't really focus on, but like the big things, like we focus on, we're like, oh, this is important. So like Krishna's saying that I am like the biggest of the biggest, intelligent of the intelligent. He's like saying he's the greatest because we only see like big things, and
We are amazed by, or we're attracted by the big things in our life. Yes or no? It's a natural tendency that we're attracted and amazed and allured by big things. And we think our attention is caught by big things or powerful things or amazing things. And that's why Krishna is, okay, now you're looking at those amazing things. I am those things. I am actually the cause of those things. But for a realized soul, for a person who has become mature on the path of spirituality, he sees Krishna in the smallest of small things too. Not only things, but in situations, but in our mind always. The other day, somebody was asking me um, about, oh, I think about Krishna while doing my activities, but I don't really uh, not while doing my activities, but I will think about Krishna. But the thing is, my life is so busy that it's hard for me to make time for Krishna. But I will remember Krishna while doing my work, and I'll be thinking, oh, I have to do this, but I'm not able to do, but I'm doing my work, and then I take care of my family, and I'm doing my extracurriculars. but I'm not able to make time for Krishna. So is it the same as, is it enough for, is it enough for remembering Krishna? That's the question somebody asked. What do you all think? Yeah, Nivan?
I mean, as long as you like keep Krishna in the center of everything, like, oh, I'm doing this for Krishna, and like it's important to keep Krishna in the center because like even though you're really, really busy and you have absolutely no time, you
Mm-hmm.
can still just like chant while you like do your work, like on the side, like you multitask.
Multitask. Good point.
Also, when you're taking care of your family, like when you're cooking, like you can think of like oh, I'm cooking this food for Krishna and I'll feed it to him and then we'll all eat this good prasadam.
Okay, very nice. So however busy we are making time to cook food with Krishna in the mind and offering it to Krishna. So those things we are doing. But the question is, when people are so busy that they don't cook food, that they don't think about Krishna while cooking food, or maybe they think randomly, oh, I'm cooking food, or I'm not able to cook food for Krishna, but I had to cook. But so they don't cook. What do you think about those type of people? Those who think about Krishna because they're not doing those activities. Sometimes we do that, right? We're thinking about Krishna or we're thinking about something which is important, but we're not doing that thing. Let's say for your exams, while you're doing your, maybe you're meeting with your friends, having fun, but you're thinking about this exam that you have, that AP exam or your final exam. But you're thinking, it's not that you forgot about that exam, right? You're thinking about it. But thinking about the exam, but not making time for the exam, does it give good results in the exam? Right? So the thinking about your exam should be like when you have prepared for the exam so well that you know every content of every part of the subject matter, that you're able to recollect that subject matter while doing the activities. That is the different thinking, isn't it? The two ways of thinking about your subjects. One is you don't study and you're thinking about that subject. The other is you study for the subject and you're thinking about the subject. Both ways you're thinking about the subject. Yes or no? Am I making sense or no?
Yes, Mataji.
Can we stop sharing the screen and then we'll see? I'll look at everyone and we can talk. So, can you explain to me what you understood? Vedang, did you say yes that you understood? Who said yes, Mataji, just now?
I mean, I understood a bit. Like it was
Okay.
just
Anyone else who understood, can you please tell me? You're thinking about the subject, let's say math, and you have so much to learn. It could be formulas or it could be some theorem or whatever, right? And then you're thinking about the subject because you didn't prepare, you didn't learn at all. And that other way of thinking about the subject is you know it all and you're remembering the subject. So what's the difference between the two things? Can somebody explain? Rajit.
So the difference would be that you're thinking about it, but like in one scenario you're actually doing something about it, but in the other scenario, this is when you haven't done anything about it.
Yeah, same thing with Krishna consciousness too. So we all think about Krishna maybe, but our thinking about Krishna is because we have heard in the class that, oh, I have to learn about, I have to chant, I have to offer food to Krishna, or I have to memorize my verses. But the other person who has memorized the verses is actually telling the verse without saying and thinking about Krishna. There's a difference. So which is a better way of thinking? Both ways we're thinking about Krishna, both ways we're thinking about the subject. But which is a better way of thinking? Which is a constructive or which is the helpful way of thinking? I'm not asking hard questions, girls and boys. Why is it so difficult to answer?
Wait, so it would be the better way to like say the verses with Krishna in mind, right?
Yeah. Or you have learned the verses and you're repeating them. Not that you're thinking about the verses without learning them. Oh, Sunday is coming. I didn't learn the verse. I don't know which verse we did. The other way of thinking about it is, oh, I know what we learned last class. This is the verse we learned, and this is what we may remember about Krishna. And therefore, you are not sad about remembering Krishna or class. You're not sad, you're worried about the class. You are happy about the class, or you're comfortable about the class. Similarly, you're comfortable about the exam because you prepared for the exam. Whereas if you didn't prepare, but you were still reminded of it several times, you were concerned, you were worried because you're not prepared. So that's the difference. So this chapter, the verses in this chapter will help us remember Krishna everywhere. At the same time, also remind us of the tasks that we need to do for Krishna. Right? So continuing with the verse, the next part of the verse, Krishna says that he is Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva, who is also called Skanda. Skanda is the name that's given in the verse. What does it say? Senaninam aham skandam. That means I am Skanda, who is the son of Lord Shiva, also known as Kartikeya, and is the commander-in-chief of all the celestial gods. And then there are three things that Krishna is saying here. One is he's the Brihaspati, who is the chief of all the priests. Second, he's saying that he's Kartikeya, commander-in-chief of all the gods. And then finally, he says among the bodies of water, which is the biggest body of water that we know of. It's ocean, right? Krishna is saying, I'm the ocean. I'm manifesting. If you see ocean, it's whoa, this is all Krishna. Krishna's manifestation. Krishna says, I am the ocean. He is as grave and mighty as ocean. That's what Krishna is saying. Any questions or any points you want to add here? So we have three points to take from this verse about Krishna, correct? About Krishna's abundance, opulence, manifestations. Next verse. Can you share now, beta, somebody? Twenty-fifth verse. Dhatri, repeat after me. I want all of us to participate in discussions. If you haven't spoken till now at all, adding your viewpoints or questions, please think about what you can add or what you can ask. I want all of us to speak in this class. Okay? Now, Dhatri, please repeat after me. Maharshinam Briguraham
Maharshinam Briguraham
Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam
Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam
Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi
Yagnanam Hapayagnosmi
Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi
Yagnanam Japayagnosmi
Stavaranam Himalayah
Stavaranam Himalayah Maharshinam Briguraham
Maharshinam Bhrigur Aham
Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam
Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam
Yagnanam Japayagnosmi
Yagnanam Japayagnosmi
Stavaranam Himalayah
Stavaranam Himalayah Maharshinam Bhrigur Aham
Maharshinam Brigar Aham
Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam
Giramasmi Ekam Aksharam
Yagnanam Japayagnosmi
Yagnanam Japan Yagnosmi
Stavaranam Himalayah
Stavaranam Himalayah Maharshinam Brigaraham
Maharshinam Briguraham
Giramasmi Ekamaksharam
Giramasmi Ekamaksharam
Yagnanam Japayagnosmi
Yajnanam Japayagnosmi
Stavaram Himalayah
Stavaranam Himalayah Maharshinam Briguraham
Maharshinam Bhriguraham
Giramasmi Ekamaksharam
Giramasmi Eka Aksharam
Yajnanam Japayagnosmi
Yagyanyam Japayagnyosmi
स्थावराणं हिमालयः
स्थावराणां हिमालयः महर्षिणां भृगोरहं
Maharshinam Brigoraham
गिरामस्मि एकमक्षरम्
Giram Ashmi Ekam Aksharam
यज्ञानां जपयज्ञोऽस्मि
Yagnanam Japa Yagnoshmi
स्थावराणां हिमालयः
Stavaranam Himalaya Maharshinam Brigoraham
Maharshinam Brigoraham
Giram Ashmekam Aksharam
Giramasmyekam Aksharam
Yagnanam Japa Yagnoshmi
Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi
Stavaranam Himalaya
Stavaranam Himalayah Maharshinam Brigoraham
Mahashinam Bhagar
Giramasmyekam Aksharam
Giramasmi Eka Aksharam
Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi
Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi
Stavaranam Himalayah
Stavaranam Himalaya Maharsin Bhagar
Maharshinam Briguraham
Giram Asmi Eka Aksharam
Giramashmi Ekamaksharam
Yagnanam Japa Yagnosmi
Yagnanam Japayagnoshmi
Stavaranam Himalaya
Stavaranam Himalayah Maharshinam Briguraham
Maharshinam Briguraham
Giramashmi Ekamaksharam
Giram Ashmi Ekam Aksharam
Yagnanam Japayagnoshmi
Yagnanam Japayagnoshmi
Stavaranam Himalayah
Stavaranam Himalayah Maharshinam Briguraham
Maharshinam Brigoraham
Giram Ashmi Ekam Aksharam
Giram Ashmi Ekamaksharam
Yagnanam Japayagnosmi
Yajnanam Japayajñosmi
Stavaranam Himalayah
Stavaranam Himalayah Maharshinam Brigoraham
Is everyone done? Okay. Maharshinam Briguraham
Giramasmi Ekamaksharam
Giramasmi Ekamaksharam
Yajnanam Japayajñosmi
Yagnanam Japayagnosmi
Stavaranam Himalayah
Stavaranam Himalayah. Okay, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Again, Krishna is repeating himself, or not repeating. Krishna is continuing, glorifying or mentioning his opulences. The name of this chapter is called Opulence of the Absolute. Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am chanting of the holy names or japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. So we are learning 4 opulent manifestations of Lord Krishna. The first one here, Krishna is talking about great sages. In the previous verse, we talked about the priests. Priests are also considered sagely, but priests and sages are little different. Priests are those who help human beings perform rituals and connect with the Supreme Lord. Whereas sages are wise people, philosophically intelligent people, because of their learnings of various scriptures and mastering of those scriptures, they are wise and intelligent people who can guide humanity in times of calamities or even in general on spiritual journeys. These are sages who have acquired knowledge through following of acharyas, who have read lot of scriptures, who have performed meditation, and who have realized the knowledge that they have acquired. See, knowledge can be heard, knowledge can be practiced, and knowledge can be realized. So sages are those who have heard, practiced, and realized, meaning they have experienced the knowledge that they have seen. For example, if we hear something from Bhagavad Gita, for us it's only an information as of now. We haven't really experienced it. But sages are those who have practiced, who have heard that, who have practiced. That means they applied it in their life and they have experienced the glory of that knowledge. such sages, among such sages, the greatest is sage Bhrigu. That is what Krishna is saying. So there's a beautiful pastime of the sage called Bhrigu. Once upon a time, there was discussion at one level among the sages, among the humans and sages. The question was, who is the greatest among Lord Krishna, Lord Narayana, Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva? That was the type of discussion that was going on. And among their discussion, they couldn't conclude who it is. So this sage Bhrigu was the son of Lord Brahma. Okay. So he was given this task of identifying. Okay, you tell us, you figure out who is the greatest all the um, among the three murtis, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Give me 1 second. I'm getting some call. Give me one. Okay. So now Bhrigu went on this quest of figuring out who is the greatest. Now, how do we define greatness? Can you all tell me? We can stop the sharing the screen so that we can discuss this. How do we define greatness? What do you think greatest means?
I think greatest means like somebody who's like achieved the highest potential, but then they use it to help like their community back again.
Wow, very nice. Good job. Any others? Others, please add more. That's a very good definition, is what I think.
Wait, someone with like great power but has a good heart for everyone.
Great power, but good heart. Nice. You all have such noble thoughts. Very nice. Yes, Vedang.
Someone who achieves something in a good way.
Achieve something in a good way, meaning example?
Like, like the president who like he had like multiple steps and then now he's helping people and being a good leader like him.
Okay, so somebody who has had extraordinary achievements, but at the same time give back those achievements, not hoard those achievements for themselves. That's what I heard from you, Sahasra and Prajit also. Anything else? Yes, Supreet.
Someone who's like a really good leader who uses their power for like goodness.
Good leader who has power for goodness. Yes. Okay. So anything else? Any other perspectives of what greatness is?
I feel like it's a little bit more subjective. Like greatest hero would, yeah, I feel like would be someone who's doing good while also achieving a lot. But there's also like you could be the greatest of a bad thing, which isn't a good thing, but like it's just achieving the highest potential in whatever category that you're being the greatest in.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. Now I want you all to think differently. These are all wonderful answers and also correct answers, but there are more answers which has nothing to do with just achievements. All of us have talked about achievements only regarding. I think we're associating greatness with achievements. So does that mean that if we don't achieve, we are not great, or somebody who does not achieve is not great? Yes, Nivan?
But it's like someone who like this is just like an example. Like sages have like a lot of knowledge and they like give the knowledge. They don't keep the knowledge. Like they get the knowledge and then they give the knowledge. So like that's also like great.
Yeah, very nice. Giving back. So you all have emphasized, very nicely emphasized giving back. Is associating that with greatness. But what if and you can give back, and before giving back you all talked about achieving, like for example Nivan said about sages having a lot of knowledge and then they're giving, and then each one of us have told that. But how about I don't have anything, I've not really achieved anything, but by virtue of my qualities also I can be great, right? Isn't it? What do you all think? By being nice to people, by being humble, by being tolerant, are all not those great qualities? What do you all think? Don't does the I'm not getting the English to speak. those qualities don't make us great? Sanvi, what do you think?
I feel like those qualities add up to being a great person, but just having those qualities isn't enough because they have to be applied in order for them to like like hold value.
Yeah, I mean, we are talking, see, when you talk about great qualities in a person, we have known it because they've applied it. Not because just they have some titles or some
Yeah.
boards on their head sticking out saying, I'm humble, I'm honest, I am. It's not that. We know a person because of our experience with them. Yes or no?
Yeah, so then yeah, in that case, I guess that would mean that they would be great for having those qualities.
So greatness is not always associated with achievements. Please note that down, all of us. We have to think that, oh, greatness means achieving a position or achieving knowledge, fame, and all that. Of course, those are good. I'm not saying we shouldn't do that. We all should we should always endeavor for those things, but it doesn't mean that only those things make us great. And that's called greatness from inside out. Whatever we talked about are outside greatness. But inside greatness is what we talked about just now. Yes, Dhatri.
So if there's like multiple people who contain all these values, these like noble values, who are honest and truthful, how do you know someone is the greatest, like the one of all? It's like
All
Krishna
of them
saying,
are greatest. All of them are great. I mean, greatest is always Krishna. That is there. So it's opulence of the abs. There's only one absolute entity, and that is Krishna. Krishna is the greatest. But among all, we always should not, okay, we should not be looking for being greatest among people, but we should be looking for greatest within ourselves. How can I be greatest compared to what I was yesterday?
so like the greatest version of yourself, not the great.
Exactly. See, so beautifully said. Very nice. Greatest version. We should always be looking for greatest versions of ourselves rather than being the greatest among a group of people. Because being the greatest among a group of people always has so many dangers. Because we will become we will become a person who will be envied by many people when we become greatest. Don't you think so? I mean, that can be a byproduct of what we are doing. It's okay if it happens. I'm the greatest, I'm the topmost. But if we are hankering for being the greatest, then what will happen? It comes with all its negativities of, first of all, if I'm not going to be the greatest, I'll be sad. If somebody else is the greatest, I'll get mad at that person. Or if I become the greatest, somebody else will be mad at me or envy me. Isn't it? Makes sense, whatever I'm saying? So again, the goal here is I'm not telling you all not to be greatest. Of course, greatest is Krishna. Again, we have to have the underlying underlying fact in our mind. Yes, Supreet.
Yeah, so I wanted to like add onto this discussion. I feel like being great doesn't necessarily mean you have to like do big things. Like doing small things every day, like I don't know, picking up trash every day or helping someone like by opening the door. I feel like those are also like great things that you can do.
Awesome. Yes, that is what I was trying to tell you all. Again, it is not wrong. It is not discouraged to achieve great things. I'm not saying that. Again, don't quote me going back after this class saying, oh, Aruna aunty said achieving is not great, being humble and polite is only great. No, I'm not saying that. Everything is good. However, inside out greatness is what we have to focus on. And here we're talking about the passing of Bhrigu. I'm going to briefly tell it. So Bhrigu went in search of the greatest among the three murtis who are Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. So he goes to Lord Brahma. When he goes to Lord Brahma is not welcoming, and he should have been. Bhrigu, being a great sage, expects him to be welcomed. And when Brahma doesn't welcome him, he asks him, "You didn't welcome me. You didn't even offer a seat to me." Then Brahma gets upset. He gets mad at Bhrigu, and he will just chastise him. And with that, Bhrigu gets upset and he leaves that place and thinks Brahma is not good enough. And then he goes to Shiva. Shiva is meditating. And then as soon as Bhrigu goes, Bhrigu is expecting people to welcome him, offer him a place to sit, and which Shiva also did not do. And then he also got upset with Shiva, and Shiva gets upset with him and starts to say that I'm going to destroy you, and Mother Parvati stops him. And then now Brigu also thinks Shiva is also not a great person because of the experience he had. Then he goes to see Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu again. What is Lord Vishnu's setup? How do you all know? What do you all map with when you think about Lord Vishnu? Yeah, Vedang?
When I think about Lord Vishnu, I remember I imagine that he's like on us on the snake. I forgot the name.
Yes, he's on the snake bed. Sheshashayi. He's on the snake bed. Sheshnag. And then Mother Lakshmi is pressing his feet, and then he's in a meditative pose, closed eyes. He's lying on the snake bed. That is the image we get, right? When you think about Lord Vishnu, and that exactly was the setting. And then Rigu enters, and then he thinks, oh, now this man also will not care for me. He's already in a sleeping posture. He's not going to care for me. And he goes there. And then Vishnu is also thinking, because Vishnu is meditating on the material, on the creation, right? So when Rigu comes, he also does not respond to him, does not welcome him. And then Rigu gets so angry this time. By now, his anger has built up so much because of the experience with Brahma and Shiva. So he goes and slams Vishnu's chest with his foot. And then what happens? What will happen if somebody hits us with their foot on our body? What would we do?
We would get mad usually.
Yeah, very mad, right? Not just mad, very mad. Why would you do that to me, right? And that's what we would expect Vishnu also to react. But Lord Vishnu, he immediately wakes up from his yoga nidra and runs to Brigu, who was now returning, was just going away from there, runs and touches his feet and says, oh, my chest is so hard, and I hope it did not hurt your foot. And he starts massaging his foot. Unlike Brahma and Shiva, who got upset with him just because he said, you didn't welcome me, and then they were like getting into fit with him, right? But Lord Vishnu, he goes and massages his feet and says, I'm so sorry. You are an elevated sage. And he is really also by his knowledge. This is again a pastime. Whenever we hear stories like this, narrations like this from the pastimes, we shouldn't think, how can Brigu be elevated if he's getting so mad? This is to prove to us how Lord Krishna is the most tolerant, is the epitome of tolerance and epitome of patience and epitome of greatness in terms of also being kind to the people, especially to the sages. And sages are these brahmanas who have dedicated their life to learn scriptures, to practice them, and to realize them. So they are supposed to be respected the most. And Vishnu feels so terrible that he missed respecting him, he missed welcoming him. And on top of it, he's thinking, Brugu's foot might have got hurt because he hit his chest, which he thinks is hard for Brigu. Then immediately Brigu feels so ashamed, comes to senses as to what did he do. He used his foot to hurt Narayana, which is like the biggest aparadh, right? So he immediately bows down to Lord Vishnu and says, please, please, please forgive me. Now I understand I was in complete illusion and I was trying to test your greatness. And in that illusion, I didn't know what I was doing. So please forgive me. So he comes down to the feet of Lord Narayana and asks for forgiveness. That same pastime of Durvasa Muni that we saw, right? How Durvasa punishes or curses Ambarish Maharaj about eating, honoring water before he came there as a guest, and therefore he sends a fiery demon against Ambarish. And then what happens? That fiery demon does not hurt Ambarish; it goes back hurting Durvasa Muni only. No, it was about to that fiery demon was going to be protected by Lord Narayana's chakra. Remember Vishnu chakra? And then that Vishnu Chakra goes behind Durvasa Muni, and then finally Durvasa Muni goes to Narayana and asks for forgiveness and says, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And then what does Narayana say at that point?
Lord Narayana says to go to Ambarish Maharaj and go ask him for forgiveness.
Awesome. Very nice, Prajit. Proud of you. So similarly, devotees and sages are given top priority by Narayana. So Krishna is saying, among the sages, I am Bhrigu Muni. Two reasons. One is Bhrigu by himself, because of his whatever austerities he performed, is a great sage. And second thing is, he glorified Lord Narayana by this pastime. He has become the cause of glorification of Lord Narayana by the pastime that he was involved in. Therefore, he says, I am sage Bhrigu among all the sages. And then he says, among what is the next one? Say about he's Bhrigu, and then Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam. He says how he is the uh, Omkara. We already talked about this Omkara, right? In previous verses, again, Krishna is saying that he's the syllable Omkara in. Can you share the translation? We'll read it. That is also another opulence of God. The vibration Om is actually a sacred vibration, right? And then of sacrifices, he's saying Yagna. Yagna means Yagna Nam Japa Yagnosmi. The different types of sacrifices performed. And what is a Yagna? It's an act of dedicating ourselves to the Lord. So that's what we should remember. Yagna is an act, any act that we dedicate ourselves to the Supreme Lord. And the simplest and the greatest Yagna is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Krishna himself is saying, chanting is also a Yagna. This is called Japa Yagna, the sacrifice of devotional repetition of names of God, divine names of God. And Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have told us to chant, or have recommended, encouraged us to chant this Mahamantra called Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because other yajnas, when we perform, there are so many rules that we have to take care. For example, fire sacrifice, when you perform, you should have all pure ingredients, pure brahmanas who can chant the mantras. Pure participants also should be pure. Everything should be pure to get the full benefit of that type of yajna. But chanting of the holy names do not have any rules. Chanting of the holy names can be done anywhere, anytime, and it gives the same benefit of, or even gives the utmost benefit of any yajna that can be performed. So in Kali Yuga, especially chanting yajna of chanting is the topmost. And Krishna says, I am that yajna. And finally, Krishna says, among all the mountain ranges that lie in this creation. What mountain ranges do you all know? You can stop sharing now. Do you all know any mountain ranges that you have seen, or you have heard, or you have learnt of? Mountains. What are these mountains in Tennessee? What are those mountains in Tennessee? Does anybody know?
The Smoky
Okay.
The Smoky Mountains, but they're called Smoky Mountains because, but what is the actual name of those mountains there?
The Appalachian Mountains.
Appalachian Mountains, yes. Like that. What are the mountain ranges you all have heard of? Yeah, Avidil?
The Himalayas, the Alps, Rocky Mountains, Appalachia.
Where are the Alps?
The Alps?
Where are they located?
I think they're somewhere in Europe.
Yes, very nice. I've been recent to Italy, and recently I visited Italy, but there I couldn't see the Alps. I could see the Alps from far. I couldn't really go close to them. That's why I was asking, where are they? Then, what other mountain ranges you're saying, Aviral? You said Himalayas, and then you said Rocky Mountains. Where are Rocky Mountains?
I think they're
In the northwest of America?
somewhere in like Colorado, I think. I mean, Washington.
Northwest of America is what I'm thinking. The Yellowstone is Rocky Mountains only, right? Or no? Which mountain range? I'm checking. I'm thinking it's Rocky Mountains, but I might be wrong.
It's
What
it's
mountains are
basically
called?
it makes up like most of the western. It's like in the western part of the US, and and parts of it are in Canada.
Yellowstone in the Rocky Mountains, right? That's what. Located large in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
northeast
yeah,
corner
yeah.
of Wyoming. both extend to Montana. Yellowstone's mountain range is a part of the Rocky Mountains. Yes. So it's Rocky Mountains where range from where, from mid north, from western north to north. Sorry, from what is the range of Rocky Mountains? Let's see. Sorry, I just wanted us to understand that each continent has its own mountain ranges, which are very huge and very vast. However, Krishna says, among all the mountains that exist in this creation, I am Himalayas. And where are Himalayas located?
On the border of India.
Like in Nepal.
Northern territory of India. Himalayan mountain ranges. It's in Asia, that's the continent. And Krishna says, I am the Himalayan mountain range. So it's India. They expand across India, Nepal, China, Bhutan, Afghanistan, and all. Yes, Supreet, you have something to say?
There's also the Andes in South America.
South America. Each continent has its own mountain ranges. Like the North America has Rocky Mountains, Europe has Alps, Andes in South America, Asia has Himalayas. What other continents do we have? North America, South America, Asia,
There's
Europe,
Africa.
Africa. Do we have any mountain ranges there in Africa? And then what about any other continent? How many continents do we have? I forgot all those things. How many?
Oh, Australia, right. Australia.
Australia. So 7 continents is what I heard. I learned while growing up. Is it the same?
Yeah, 7.
The same. So Australia has any mountain ranges?
I don't
I think it's just a flat surface. I'm not sure it has like any mountains.
Okay. Australia doesn't have. What are the major mountain ranges in Australia? Australia is home to many mountains, including Snowy, McDonnell, and Great Dividing Mountain ranges, but maybe they're not as big as any other mountain ranges in other continents. So what are the mountain ranges in Africa? Antarctica, of course, it might have, but I don't know if there's any exploration of those mountain ranges.
There are mountains in Australia. There's like a huge range.
Is
It's
it?
great. Yeah, Great Dividing Range.
Oh, okay. I Googled up and it says North America, Rocky Mountains and Appalachian Mountains. See, we are close to the Appalachian Mountains. South America has Andes, that Supreet said. Africa has Atlas Mountains and Ethiopian Highlands, it seems. Europe has Alps, that Viral told. Then Asia has Himalayas. Australia has Great Dividing Range. Sudirman Range, I think that's what Shadhatri was referring to. And Antarctica has Transantarctic Mountains. So these are the various mountain ranges in 7 continents that we know of, right? And Krishna says that Himalayas, the majestic, the biggest mountain ranges is Krishna. See, mountain itself means ranges, means they're huge. And Krishna is saying, I am the Himalayas among the mountains. That means anything that is biggest among any category of things. Krishna is trying to, he is picking examples of different categories and saying, I am this, I am this. That doesn't exclude Krishna from being in the smallest things around us. We shouldn't think that Krishna is only those things. Krishna is capable of being anything and is trying to say that all the majestic and amazing things that we see, majestic and amazing things that we see is Krishna. Okay? All right. So let's write some notes from today's class. Maybe it's a short essay and your realizations and send that to me. I mean, last week's homework also I didn't get from many of you. You're all not sending the homework. I think only Aviral sent it to me and then Vedang, you sent it to me. And